It's time to present you another of our new products, which is the Hard Techno Template. Many of you have requested this after the launch of our melodic template and peak time template. So this one will be in the style of Klangkuenstler and people like him. So let's dive into that. So this is the template, and first of all, it's available by today. And if you're watching this video, you can not only get this template with a little discount off, but you can also have 3 additional Serum presets made for this template, but only available through the description of this video. So check them out. I will go over them in a minute, but first let's have a listen, maybe somewhere around here, so you get an idea what the template is about. So this is what you can get now in our shop, and the idea of those templates is to give you an overview of what a track in the specific genre like hard techno today could look like. And what we are doing is actually more of the melodic hard techno right now, so feel free to let us know in the comments which any other types of genres or maybe subgenres you would want to see as a template on the page. As with the other templates, it comes with some samples and some presets. So the idea is that you can exchange sounds and experiment with them to kind of rearrange the whole track and make it your own. So what we don't want you to do is just take the template and be like, okay, my song is done, obviously, but we rather want you to be creative and take the ideas you already have into this arrangement, play with the arrangement, maybe go like, oh, I don't want this drop here to be kick only, right? All the percussion goes away, so we might just take the hi-hats here, put them like this, for example, right? Or you could say, I don't want this kind of long break, so you can delete it, right? And that's what we want you to do, to use this kind of structure from the template to build your own creativity around that. And let me show you some of the samples and presets here. So obviously we have a lot of drum samples like kick drums. We have percussions. We have some snare drums. Some hi-hats for sure. And over here you can see all the synthesizer presets and the group processing presets. And that's actually a very interesting point about this hard techno template. So one of the main issues with this template is how to process the groups. So you can see here in the kick and bass group, we have this rack. On the hi-hat group, we have this rack. On the percussion, we have a rack. And on the melodics. And all of these are a little different and made to process the group, right? So you can also just save them into your Ableton and use them in other tracks. So it will just show you, for example, let's have a listen on the kick drum and play around a little bit here. So you can see it mainly gives the texture and kind of compresses everything a little. So what we're doing here, for example, is we have a saturator, erosion, amp, glue compression, and some gain staging at the end. And you can control all this via the macros. You do not really have to care too much about what's happening inside in the first place, right? You can just play and go. Right, just do your thing and be creative. Same goes for the hi-hats and for the percussions, right? We can check this out as well. for example, here in the percussions, we have an extra reverb, and we also have some amp, some EQ, and also some glue compression in the group rack to kind of get everything a little together. And you could already hear when I turned down the amp how important it is, especially in those kind of styles like hard techno, to glue everything together heavily and to add this texture through plugins like Ableton's amp. It's really, really good for that. You just have to, you know, be aware that some of the settings you can choose on the amp might destroy the sound completely, but that doesn't mean that others do not work in a good way. So be creative and try stuff out here, and you will definitely find settings that are nice for you. Right, so obviously all the samples, you can just exchange them. I showed this already last time, right? Just grab another kick drum, put it in here, and you can go with that. Alright, what I want to show you now is a little bit more about the synthesizers. And this is also where we will talk about the Serum presets that you're getting additionally. So first of all, we have this bass sound here. You can see it comes in with the first drop. And basically we can see here that it starts with a low cutoff and then kind of builds itself up. Notice, right, those are all the things that you can learn from when download this template. We don't have a straight line like this, maybe, right, going to that point, just raising up, but instead we have like little ups and then going back down a little bit. So you could even like be here a little more creative, go like this, for example, because what automations should be like is human, right? In the best case, they feel like you actually made them with your hand, right? You touch some knobs, and that's actually also probably the best way to record them instead of painting them, right? But anyway, this goes to show you that that's important. And then maybe also look at the pattern, right? We are in G minor, and we once again utilize the +1 and -2 semitones. So +1 not included in the minor scale or the major scale, right? That's just off the scale and makes everything sound very tense. And then we go down right to the -4, and here we have the -7. So that's the kind of harmonic fundament for this track. And then here we have this kind of lead sound, or maybe like a call response sound that works on top of the bass. And it does the exact same thing, right? We go from G to G sharp, so that's a +1 here, right? And then another G sharp, the F, which is the -2, and back to the G. So those are the 3 notes that we're playing with in this template. And same here in the pad, right? This is this kind of choir sounding pad. And perhaps this is a good point where I can show you like one of the Serum presets. So for example, for this sound, I made another Serum preset. Right, this is the sound. So we're using the Duda choir, wavetable, a lot of unison. And it's not too complicated to patch. So let me just play it for you first. So you can already hear this is more of a kind of stab sounding pad, so to say. But obviously you can change that by changing the envelopes, especially on the filter. And then also we have some other lead sounds for you. You can also grab the Serum presets from the description, and then right here we have this one, thin lead, which is another nice variation for the lead sound here. very aggressive, very detuned. So what we're using in this sound is the pulse width modulation, right? And a lot of unison, a lot of detune, and the detune is actually controlled by the notes. So depending on the right level of the note, how high it is it a low note or a high note, this will change a little bit on the detune, which makes the sound a little more alive, and that works perfectly in this kind of dark melodic context here. Last but not least, I also have another sound for you, which is for the bass here. So let's grab Serum once again, and let's take this hard techno Reese, right? You could also use this sound. It's a very, very crazy patch, and what you have to do for sure is take away a lot of the bass, right? So the template does obviously not do everything for you. You still have to think. Very crazy sound here with the flanger and the heavy distortion, making it kind of wildly go up and down. So you can get all those 3 sounds for free, as I said before, in the description, and the template is now available on our page. But obviously there's not only the Serum presets that you can use here for every synth sound, there's also some other Ableton sounds. For example, here we can maybe take the hard bass 2. Check this out, just a little different. So compared to the first one, this is also more of this kind of phasing sound. Maybe let's check out number 3 as well. And also the other sounds, like for example the lead. This is more of some kind of frequency modulation, sine-like stuff, but also with a lot of noise and overdrive, so it gets you this kind of distorted, but still a little more like not so scratchy and high harmonic sounding stuff like the one before, right? So you can change the vibe of the track, it's up to you. And as with all the templates, we really want you to be creative and take away some of the harder parts of making music. For example, leaving the loop and going into a full arrangement. So you can now also take your own sounds that you've already been using before, put them into the template, play around with the arrangement, play around with the position of the tracks, and you will have a good time making hard techno like this. Thanks again for watching, guys. Have fun with this template and see you very soon.